Hello, everyone. We are here with your candidate for Muscatine City Council, Kelcey Brackett. Hello, Kelcey. Glad to have you with us.
Hi, how's it going today?
Going well,
It's
thank you.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoy doing interviews like this.
Mhm,
I think it's important for the general public here in Muscatine to be able to get to know their candidates.
mhm. We'll get right into our first question. Why are you running for City Council?
So that's a question that we get asked anytime we speak to the media. And
Mhm,
for me, it mostly has to do with giving back to the community. I believe that politicians, and whether or not someone on a city council considers themselves actually a politician or not,
mhm,
I don't know. But it's about civil service,
mhm,
and it should not have anything to do with personal gain
mhm,
or what you can get from it, but what you can give.
mhm,
And that is what I've really tried to do throughout the time I've been involved.
mhm,
The past 4 years has been a challenge,
mhm,
and it has been very rewarding
mhm,
at the same time. And I feel that bringing that stance
mhm,
into politics and into our city government is important. And so
mhm,
that's really what drove me forward. There's a lot of
mhm,
different individual issues that we could talk
mhm,
about, but really bringing a balanced stance
mhm,
that is focused on service is what's important
mhm.
to me.
Thank you. Many people aren't aware of all that City Council is responsible for. What do you feel is the most important thing for people to know about what the City Council does?
That's a great question. So
Mhm,
we have our very visible city council meetings that happen
mhm,
the first 3 Thursdays of every month. Most of the council members also serve on other boards and committees throughout the city,
mhm,
sometimes throughout the county or even regional.
mhm,
So I currently serve on the Magic GIS board, which
mhm,
is what controls the website where people can go look up at their home values.
mhm,
They can look up information about other properties in town, as
mhm,
well as it's utilized by city staff, county staff, and Muscatine Power and Water staff. And there's
mhm,
also some additional customers that utilize those services as well.
mhm,
And that's kind of an example of the type of committee that a council member might be on. Now, in addition to that, I get approached by citizens either
mhm,
by in person, phone, email,
mhm,
instant messenger. Depending on what platform they use, I
mhm,
try to make myself available out there to all of those.
mhm,
And I may get a call in the middle of the day. I
mhm,
might get a instant message or a text
mhm,
message in the middle of the night. So those are types of things that we the types of things that happen that people might not
mhm,
realize. I try to respond to things as quickly as possible. So sometimes
mhm,
I will respond at 11 o'clock at night.
mhm,
In addition to that, we have a lot of planning that goes on throughout the
mhm,
year. So there's budgets, there are different project meetings, things like that
mhm.
that we're expected to attend, and I enjoy going to it. Budget's a little dry sometimes,
Yeah.
but project planning meetings can be a lot of fun. So those are just a few of the things, but there's some background that
Mhm,
occurs, and I would encourage people to attend a variety of our meetings so that
mhm,
they could get an experience of what happens in the meetings that don't show up on TV
mhm.
because they're still public meetings.
Thank you. What do you feel are the strengths of the current City Council?
So I think our current city council is strong in that it has a very diverse group of
Mhm,
opinions. So there are some folks on the city council currently that I tend to agree with on a regular
mhm,
basis. There are some individuals that I tend to disagree with on a regular basis.
mhm,
But all of those, even the ones I disagree with, I feel those are valid, valuable uh, uh, additions to the city council.
mhm,
And I think that we've done a very good job, particularly over the past 2 years,
mhm,
of working together, regardless of our backgrounds and regardless of our personal beliefs, to make
mhm,
sure that the city is moving forward in a
mhm,
positive way. We have recently, in the last year, we hired a new city administrator.
mhm,
I think that we've seen a lot of positive change here in
mhm,
Muscatine since then. I know that I've gotten a lot of positive feedback based off
mhm,
of that. We have made some additions within, within city staff, and we've made some changes there that I think have also been given us a lot of improvement. And the main thing at the end of the day is even when we disagree, and last night was a great example. We had a very heated discussion last night, and the person on the city council that I tend to disagree with more than others, I don't always disagree with him, but on the topic we discussed last night, we have polar opposite views on it. End of the meeting, no hard feelings. We can walk out the door just as friendly as when we walked in the door. And that's, I think, very important.
Yes. Thank you. What do you feel are the weaknesses of the current city council?
Oh, weakness question. This is just it is like a job interview. So, right now, I think that, I don't know, we have I really feel we have a pretty well-balanced council, and I don't know that I can point out too many weaknesses that aren't something that I just would see as a difference of opinion from where I stand. And so it's not really a weakness. I mean, because as I just said, that's really kind of a strength to have those different views. I think that the diversity we currently have on the council and backgrounds and stances on different issues is a strength. And this was not a question that I don't think I've had this question before, and I don't. Other than we're a very, really all of us are relatively new for the most part. I'm currently coming up on the end of my first term. The other council members that were not elected at the same time as me are currently serving the second year of their first term. So we're a very young council in that aspect, not taking actual ages into it, but young in experience in that case. And I would say that would probably be our weakest point. And where I think that we can take that and turn it into a strength, though, is people do a lot of research. People reach out to staff and reach out to others with more experience, and take that weakness and don't let it get in the way.
Thank you. Ensuring all citizens, regardless of resources, are part of the process is essential to a thriving community. What do you feel can be done to better ensure that all the people of Muscatine are part of the process? And are there specific ways you feel you can engage with the underrepresented portions of the population?
Oh, this is a great question. So this is something I've been working on throughout my first term and hope to continue into my second term. And some changes that have recently happened, I feel that we're doing a better job now of seeking more public input in meaningful ways, where that data can be, can be put together and then worked out to make sure that we're seeing valid results from those surveys and things like that. We just recently approved a purchase request for this type of service from a nationally known, well-respected company that will do surveys of the community and find out what things the general public feels are lacking, what things the general public would like to see that we might not normally hear about, so that can come before council. And that's something I want to see more of moving forward. I think that we need to be doing that on a regular basis. Other things that I think that we can do better, and I feel are being currently worked on and going in the right direction, is when we have boards and commissions come up with vacancies. I think in the past, although those things are published on our website, they didn't get a lot of traction. And one of the things that I'm trying to see happen is getting that out in more visible ways to the general public. We have a lot of people in Muscatine with great experience and great ideas, and I really want to bring them into the fold so that they can help us move forward in a positive way.
Employee morale is critical to the success of any organization. How do you feel about the current state of employee morale given the tumultuous year 2021 has been, and what can be done to ensure employees feel valued?
So that's a wonderful question as well. I don't, the city council doesn't work hand in hand each day with staff. That is done by the city administrator. That being said, I feel staff have been very receptive to sharing their ideas, to hearing my ideas about things that we can do, and that hasn't always been the case in the past. I think that our new leadership is helping open those lines of communication in City Hall and making sure that we don't have the divisions that we had before, which I think did wonders as we went into this past year that has been so stressful for so many of us. I try to make sure that the city staff doesn't only hear from me when I have an issue or when a citizen has an issue. Whenever I hear compliments, when I find something that I think has been done really well, I try and point that out. But that's something that we can all do more of. People need to hear that what they're doing is appreciated and what they're doing is going in the right direction, frankly. And so that is something that I'd like to see more council members do. I'm not saying they don't. I just think that we can all do better at that. Beyond that, I think that, I really do think that the new city administrator that we brought in has, made a really good connection with the council as a whole and is helping the council, and the council's been very receptive to it, to work with the department heads and other staff to make sure that even if we don't agree on a topic, even if we don't agree on an agenda item, that we can discuss it in a civil way and all be professional at the end of the day. And I think that that's been working out really well.
What is one thing that the voters may not know about you that you would like them to know?
Oh, this, I think I answer this one different every time I get this question. I just answered it in another interview here not that long ago. People might make some assumptions about my politics based on things that they hear in the media, things that they have seen, or even just some of my posts on social media. And I do as much as I can to not bring partisanship into City Hall. I feel that it is important that our city elections, our county the city elections and our school board elections remain nonpartisan. We should not be bringing that in. And so that's a stance that I have that I don't know if a lot of people would feel. But some of my background as well. I've been in Muscatine for 22 years now. I've always, I'm from Iowa originally, came from Cedar Rapids, actually moved to Dubuque, went to high school in Dubuque, and then went into the Army right out of high school. Day I graduated high school, the same day that I left for basic training. And I think that little bit of information is something a lot of people might not realize. And it was a great experience. I wasn't able to serve for very long because I got injured and ended up, that injury conflicted with continued service, but it was still a very rewarding experience and allowed me to get a new perspective that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to have. And I feel that has really helped drive me forward during times that are difficult, understanding that I can get through that adversity. And at the end of the day, if you quit, you fail. If you continue on and work through those hardships and still don't meet the goal that you had, you can use it as a lesson. You can learn from it so that the next time that you move forward, you understand some changes that you need to make. So thank you.
And thank you, Kelcey, for your time today, and also for offering your time and energy to serve Muscatine.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are here with your candidate for Muscatine City Council at Large, Angela Lewis. Hello, Angela. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you for having me today.
You're welcome. We'll get right into our first question.
Sure.
Why are you running for City Council?
Last year, it was like I just kind of was listening and kind of watching and being really attentive to what's going on in the city, and felt like I could bring some new ideas. I love the city of Muscatine. It's, like I said, I was born and raised here. And there's lots of opportunities here. I feel like it is the true pearl of the Mississippi River. And I think there's just ways that we could bring that into this community and, have it so people quit going out of the community to, either go to Iowa City or they're going up to the Quad Cities. And it's like, there's so much to do here. So that's the one thing that brought me in to feel like I wanted to run for to become a candidate. Sorry.
Thank you. Many people aren't aware of all that City Council is responsible for. What do you feel is the most important thing for people to know about what the City Council does?
I think the one thing that the City Council has to do is actually represent the whole city. We need to look at what we can do to bring people to Muscatine, to stay in Muscatine. The main thing, I think, as a City Council person, we need to make sure we do our due diligence to make sure that we're spending the consumer's money properly for our city, that we are able to look at the city and see where there's opportunities. And there are lots of opportunities in the city to grow. So that's what I bring to the table.
Thank you. What do you feel are the strengths of the current City Council?
The current City Council, they're good. I wouldn't say anything bad about the City Council, but what I think I can bring to City Council is the ability to listen and hear. I think sometimes people that are on City Council have their own agendas, and they need to remember that they're there to serve us, meaning, I live here in Muscatine. I'm one of the residents here as well. And I think I feel that for myself anyway, it's like, I'm not going anywhere. City Council is where I can go and represent people of the city. And I don't have any higher expectations. I'm not looking to go to the State House in Des Moines. My goal is to be here and to serve the community in which I live.
Thank you. What do you feel are the weaknesses of the current City Council?
The things that I've seen with City Council is I feel like they don't listen to each other very well. I don't feel like they validate when somebody has concerns or questions. So it's like, I think you need to take a big deep breath, listen, and make sure you're hearing both sides, and to realize that City Council, it's to serve the community. It's not to serve it's not self-serving. So the big thing is that they're listening to their constituents and representing what the community wants us to do for the city.
Ensuring all citizens, regardless of resources, are part of the process is essential to a thriving community. What do you feel can be done better to ensure that all the people of Muscatine are part of the process? And are there specific ways you feel you can engage underrepresented portions of the population?
Sure. I think the big thing is to actually just be part of the community. I think the big thing is we kind of get stuck, I think, sometimes in our own little worlds. And that's one thing with me being actually out in the community. I've gone door to door, met a lot of great people. I spent probably a good half an hour talking to a resident that's lived here all of her life. And it's like, it's actually reaching out to those people and giving them access. But when I run, people will have my personal cell phone. You'll have my personal email address. And it's like, I would expect that to get phone calls, and so, and it will be my phone. It will be the phone that I use for my work. It'll be the phone that I use for my children. So it's like, I think accessibility is the big thing. And to make sure that we're out there talking to everyone, not just, the downtown area. I know I'm part of actually Ward 2. So I understand that the downtown area is important, but I live on the other end of it. And to realize that, yes, Muscatine is partially downtown, but there is many wards around the downtown area that also have needs that need to be met.
Employee morale is critical to the success of any organization. How do you feel about the current state of employee morale, given the tumultuous year 2021 has been, and what can be done to ensure employees feel valued?
Sure. Well, I think the big thing is to listen. That's the big concern I feel is it's like we all have different opinions, and we may not always agree on what the outcomes may be. but we have to be able to listen. I think that's one thing that I've seen over the past year is it's gotten to be you're right, I'm wrong, or I'm right, you're wrong, and there's no concession to sit there and say, you know what, I understand how you feel, but it's okay that we disagree. And I think somewhere along the line, it's like we've forgotten that it's okay to have different opinions.
What is one thing the voters may not know about you that you would like them to know?
Oh, wow. Well, the big thing I think is I was born and raised here in Muscatine, and I'm a nurse by trade, and I've lived all over Muscatine. I can tell, or not Muscatine, but the state of Iowa. Moved actually out of the state. I think everybody should move out of the state once just to come back so we can understand and appreciate how much Iowa is a wonderful place to live and raise children. And I think the big thing is it's like, you know, I moved back to Muscatine. My dad lost his wife of 24 years. And when your dad says, please come live with me at 80, you just do, because time is valuable. And I actually moved back here to be with him. He passed away in his own house, which is what he wanted to do, in 18. And my husband and I have decided that we're going to make Muscatine forever our home. We're not moving anymore. We plan on, you know, living the rest of our lives here. Like I said, I just feel like Muscatine's such a great pearl. And it's like, I hope everybody can see Muscatine how I see Muscatine. There's so many opportunities. So that's my biggest pearl that I would say is that I just want people to know that I love where I live and I want them to love where they live. So it's coming to different things that we can do together to make it so that it's, you know, from pickleball courts to having parks that are safe for our kids, to the great bike trails that are being built, and just getting us up and moving more and interacting. You know, I think that's one thing that we've lost is we used to talk to our neighbors. And I think sometimes we've forgot that we have to connect to other people. So.
Well, thank you, Angela, for your time today and for offering your time and energy to serve Muscatine.
Absolutely. Thank you.